Hey, everybody. I'm Bruce Marshall. It's time to talk some more college football season wins. Let's go to the ACC here and a special side here, generating a lot of buzz when back at the ACC Media Days last month in Charlotte. There's a lot of talk about Boston College. Yeah, they're flying under the radar a little bit, but a lot of opinions on Boston College, and I think shaping up as one of the more interesting sides to look at coming into this season. We'll get to talking about BC and if it can go over or under that win total for 2026 in just a moment. First of all, though, a couple of quick scheduling reminders. Don't forget, we've got that special offer up at Wager Talk on all of my picks through the end of the year through December 31st. That's everything. All the football, NFL, college football, baseball, having a really good summer. Basketball coming soon, NBA college hoops, NHL, European soccer. That's starting really soon, too. One special price, $799. That's about a $700 savings from the monthly price. And also don't forget, right now, we have our first 5% college football play of the season up there right now at my site at Wager Talk. It's a week 0 top choice, a special 5% play. It's up there right now. This one kicks off on August 29th. So it's up there available for you right now. Okay, let's talk about the BC Eagles. And we mentioned a second ago that they were generating a lot of buzz and a lot of discussion down at ACC Media Days in Charlotte last month. The win total for BC, 3.5. And it is actually shaded a little bit more to the under there. So on the surface, it looks like there's not a lot of people expecting much from BC, but you'd be surprised how many people we talk to in Charlotte and around the region there who think this is a team you might want to keep an eye on. Last year, it certainly unraveled for Bill O'Brien in his second year with the Eagles. Now, he's an experienced coach. Of course, we know way back he had been on Bill Belichick's staff with the Patriots, where he's the offensive coordinator. He had worked on Nick Saban's staff. He propped up that Penn State program right after Joe Paterno was there. And that unraveled for Paterno. Really nice job at Penn State. Then he moved to the NFL with the Texans, got them to the playoffs a couple of times. And his first year at BC 2 years ago wasn't all that bad, got them into a bowl game. Last year, though, it did kind of unravel for a variety of reasons, and people we talked to back there and watching BC last year, it really sort of came apart and started going sideways mid-late September. They had that big opening win, and then things kind of went sideways. Like I said, 3 straight losses, and they were all bitter. Double overtime at home to Michigan State. Then that game out at Stanford, and I think this is something to think about in the ACC. These teams that go out to the Bay Area, that's a long trip. We talk about how tough it is for Stanford and Cal going back east. Well, how about those teams coming out west, especially when it's a night game? You talk to coaches around college football and elsewhere. That's tough. A day game coming east to west, not so bad. Night game, where it's 10:30 local time, that's what your body clock says, and you're actually starting at that's what it feels like out on the West Coast. And the second half didn't go well at Stanford, and there seemed to be some cracks in the foundation. Then a tough loss to Cal the next week at home, right in the last minute. Some things started to happen internally there, and it just went off track for BC. And by midseason, this whole thing was going downhill. Quarterback changed. Dylan Lonergan, the quarterback, he has since transferred to Rutgers. He got benched for Grayson Rogers, who had been at Florida International before. He wasn't able to ignite the offense. It just all started going bad. However, down the stretch last year, you saw BC play much, much better. Bill O'Brien got these guys together. They didn't quit, and the schedule was pretty tough down the stretch. Games against Louisville, games against Georgia Tech, games against Notre Dame, all competitive efforts by Boston College the last 5 weeks of the season. Spread covers in each of those, and very impressive. They hung in there, especially the Notre Dame effort. Very impressive. We saw how Notre Dame was destroying teams last year. BC hung in there. And the last game of the regular season, a thumping win, 34-12 over Syracuse, which was troubled at the end of the year, but it still spoke to something was going on at BC, some coaching and some resolve and some pride shown in the BC squad going out and ripping the orange in the last game. So how does it shape up into this season? Well, O'Brien, there were some cries back in New England that maybe it was time to look at a change at BC after the second year, but they're giving O'Brien another chance. But I think he realized early last year that things were going wrong. There were some problems on the staff last year too, which started to bubble up after that problematic run in late September. So he really cleaned out his staff too. He has taken over offensive play calling this year. He's his own offensive coordinator. And why not? I mean, he's done this at high levels. He's done it for Nick Saban. He's done it for Bill Belichick in the past. He's probably best suited to do that. and he thinks he can handle the head coaching duties along with that. I don't think that's a bad move at all, and most people we talk to in the ACC don't think it's a bad move either. Also, he's brought in a veteran coach, Ted Roof, used to be head coach at Duke, been around a long time, coordinator Georgia Tech, veteran defensive coach to run the defense this year. They have to get the pass rush going a little bit better. They think they've addressed that in the portal. We'll get to that in a second, but a lot of change on the staff too. Also, personnel-wise, 53 new Eagles coming in here this year. 25 freshmen, 28 from the portal. They like some of these portal ads here coming in very much, including the quarterback, Miles McKenzie, coming in from D2 Saginaw Valley State. Now, this is the Great Lakes Conference, and this is where Trinidad Chambliss from Ole Miss had such a great year last year. It's where he came from after he left in 2024 at the Great Lakes Conference MVP. And then he was into Ole Miss and did so well this year. They think McKenzie can do some of the same things. Style-wise, not all that different than Chambliss. He's very mobile, and that's something that BC really didn't have as much last year. Throw for over 4,000 yards the last couple of years at Saginaw Valley State. Ran the offense in spring, a little bit bumpy, but by the end of spring, he looked like he was doing well, and we're hearing good reports from BC in fall camp too about McKenzie. So they think he's going to be able to do something running the offense. Evan Dickens coming in from Liberty, over 1,300 yards rushing last year. He will take the place of Turbo Richard, who ran fairly well last year. He's moved to Indiana for this year, but they think Dickens is going to be is going to be able to step in there as a featured back. They like some of the receivers. Now, one problem, Kalen Chudzinski, who was one of the best freshman tight ends in the country last year, Achilles tendon, looks like he might be out the whole season, injury in the summer there, but O'Brien thinks he's got some depth coming in that can compensate for that. We also like what they've got on the defensive side, and some of the newcomers that have shown up here from the portal. That includes Chris Jones, the defensive end, coming in from Georgia. That should juice up the pass rush quite a bit. Anthony Polano, a linebacker from Washington State. Bodie Cahoon, another linebacker from Notre Dame. These guys are all in from the portal. They should be plugged into the lineup right away. We think they should contribute. They've got some experience in the secondary coming back, both their safeties from last year. So maybe they won't be all that bad. I would point out that O'Brien, the last couple of years as an underdog, and even last year when things were going bad, they weren't that bad against the spread. I mean, 6-6 against the spread, 2-10 straight up, but they were covering some games as an underdog. 2-year underdog mark, not too bad for O'Brien. 10-6 as an underdog. There will be some underdog chances this year for BC. But the consensus opinion we're talking to from people back there is that BC might be a team to watch. And certainly with a very manageable win total at 3.5, maybe go over that. Also suggest on your bucket list for a great college football trip, go back to BC. First of all, you get to be in Boston in the weekend. Pick a weekend. Either the Red Sox are in town in September or the Boston Bruins are in town in October, November. See them both. You will have a great, great time. And I think BC fans might have a little bit better time this year too, certainly than last year when things went bad. My recommendation here for the Eagles, over 3.5 wins, and a pretty strong over there. It's going to look a lot better if they can get one of those first two games, Cincinnati and Rutgers. Those are winnable games out of the chute. Then they get Maine at home, Virginia Tech after that. If they come out of their first four, at least 3-1 or at least 2-2, but I think they can come out 3-1. They got a shot to win all these games, I think. And they could be beyond that 3.5 win total by the time we get into October. But I think they're going to get there this year, maybe have a chance to get back to a bowl game. Over Boston College, recommendation to watch in the ACC. Okay, don't forget, if you've got you've got any comments for me, hit the special comment box on the screen. I always love to hear from you. Don't forget the Goldsheet. Couple of weeks before our first publication for the season comes out, and I've got up at the Goldsheet site, which you can get up at Wager Talk right now, some more of my college football season win previews. And don't forget, I've got that first 5% college football top choice week 0 special, August 29th. It's up there right now on the top choice at my site at Wager Talk. So, okay, until next time, we'll be talking some more college football. It's a goodbye from me.